Tonight, we are not simply listening to music. We are listening to a life that learned how to speak through piano keys, through silence, and through defiance. This is not the story of a singer alone. This is the story of a woman who turned sound into truth. Her name was Nina Simone. She was born Eunice Kathleen Waymon in 1933 in the small town of Tryon, North Carolina, a place where church hymns filled the air, and racial boundaries were never unspoken. From the beginning, music was not play. It was discipline. At 3 years old, she played the piano by ear. At 6, she was performing classical pieces in church. Her mother believed music was sacred, and from that belief, Eunice learned early. That sound carried moral weight. Her dream was precise. She wanted to become the first Black classical concert pianist. She studied Bach obsessively, his structure, his symmetry, his restraint. She practiced endlessly, absorbing European classical rigor, as if mastery itself could open doors. But when she applied to the Curtis Institute of Music, one of the most prestigious conservatories in America, she was rejected. That rejection was not just personal. It was historical. Eunice never believed it was about talent. She knew it was about race. And that knowledge became the quiet center, around which her entire life would turn. To survive, she began playing piano in clubs. The owners insisted she sing. Reluctantly, she agreed, to protect her mother from knowing. She was performing secular music. She took a new name, Nina Simone, and something irreversible happened. Her classical training did not disappear. It fused. She blended Bach's discipline with blues sorrow, jazz freedom, folk storytelling, and gospel intensity. What emerged was not a genre. It was a presence. Her early recordings were elegant but restrained. I Loves You, Porgy brought her recognition, not as a loud voice, but as a controlled one. In Love Me or Leave Me, she inserted a Bach-style fugue into a jazz standard, a radical declaration of intellect within popular music. She was saying, without apology, I am trained. I am deliberate. I will not simplify myself. As the 1960s unfolded, America burned with unrest, and Nina Simone changed. The assassination of Medgar Evers, the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church, the relentless humiliation of Black Americans. She could no longer remain neutral. In less than an hour, she wrote Mississippi Goddam. The song was explosive, direct, unforgiving. Radio stations banned it. Records were smashed in protest. But Nina Simone did not retreat. She followed with 4 Women, a psychological portrait of Black womanhood, shaped by slavery, survival, and stereotype. Each verse carried history in its bones. Then came To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, a song that became a generational anthem, not despair, but of dignity. Her concerts transformed. They were no longer performances. They were confrontations, lectures, truth sessions. She spoke between songs. She demanded attention. She refused comfort. She once said, "An artist's duty is to reflect the times." And she did, without compromise. The cost was immense. The industry labeled her difficult. Bookings declined. Surveillance increased. Emotionally exhausted and financially strained, Nina Simone left the United States. Her exile carried her through Barbados, Liberia, Switzerland, and finally France. Her music deepened. Songs like Sinnerman, Wild as the Wind, and Baltimore were no longer protests alone. They were spiritual reckonings. Sinnerman was not religious. It was existential. a question shouted into history. Where do you run when justice is everywhere? Behind the music, her life grew heavier. Unstable relationships, financial exploitation, undiagnosed bipolar disorder. Her intensity was misunderstood as volatility. Her pain mislabeled as anger. But her precision never left her. Even in rage, her timing was exact. Her silence intentional. When Nina Simone died in 2003, she left behind more than albums. She left a philosophy that music can be intellect, that rage can be clarity, that art is responsibility. Her historical importance rests on four pillars. She brought classical discipline into popular music. She made protests sound intelligent. She refused neutrality. And she proved that truth does not need permission. If you listen closely now, beneath the piano, beneath the voice, beneath the anger, there is discipline, there is grief, there is memory. Nina Simone did not ask to be loved. She asked to be heard. And history, slowly, finally, is learning how to listen.